Hey peeps, Claudia here. I'm recording this quick video for you today about why you absolutely have to do the prep work before you start automating your law firm. And I'm going to talk a bit about today what that prep work is. So I've just been out on my daily soul stroll and I've been thinking about some of the challenges that I've seen lawyers having over the last month or so around automating the different processes in their law firm. And, the common processes that I see lawyers automating is like their engagement process, their onboarding process, their document creation process, their advice creation process, those sorts of things, those sort of key processes in your law firm. And there's two main problems that I see lawyers having. And the first one is that they jump straight in and they buy some automation technology and they start trying to just shove it into their law firm and just hope like hell that it's going to work and that it's going to result in, saving time and making more money. And what happens there is they stick this piece of tech in, they spend all this time and money getting it going, only to find out that it doesn't work in the way that they wanted it to. It doesn't produce the results that they wanted, or that their clients don't like it because it's not really relevant to them. So that's the first problem. The second problem I'm seeing is I'm very big on taking leaps in business, but when it comes to planning out technology and automation, I'm actually not. I know that there is certain prep work that needs to be done. Now, a lot of people are willing to do the prep work. A lot of lawyers are willing to do it, but then what happens is because they're spending some time, maybe a month or two getting that prep work done, laying those foundations, those super important foundations that you absolutely need to lay down before you start to automate your law firm. So because they're spending time doing that, they feel like it's time wasted. They're not seeing instant results from shoving a piece of technology into their law firm. And as a result, they're getting frustrated because of their lack of progress. Okay, so those are the two main issues I'm seeing at the moment. And when I'm talking about laying foundations for automating your law firm, there's a key one, and people really struggle with it, and it is choosing who or deciding on who your ideal client is. You've probably heard me talk about this a million times, and really it is the most important foundation that you can lay down in order to automate your law firm. Now, I know that choosing an ideal client for some lawyers, particularly if you've got a general practice where you're doing wills and conveyancing and estate planning and a bit of commercial work and a bit of family work, it seems ridiculous to pick an ideal client when you serve so many people. But if you think about automating a law firm and automating different processes, and if you think about all the different clients that you serve and all the different fact scenarios and situations and different combinations of those situations, if you think about trying to automate those processes that you carry out for all of them, if you try and automate all that, it just seems like a logistical nightmare. And you're right, because it is. When you focus on one type of client and their situation and their scenarios and the types of facts that they come to you with, then you can start to see that the process and the different combinations and situations that they come to you with, trying to automate that starts to become a lot easier. Now, you'll be seeing online that there are certain people who are doing really, really great stuff with selling legal services online and automating their law firm. If you think about Emma Houston, the remote expert, for example, she's going so great with that at the moment. And if you look at who her ideal client is, you can start to see why. So Emma's ideal client is a female entrepreneur who owns an online services business in Australia. So Emma's very clear on, the demographics of her ideal client, what they value, what they want, what the results are that they want from their business. And she's completely leveraged that to sell legal services to them and automate the delivery of those legal services. So that is why the very first thing you need to do is decide on your ideal client. And I know it kind of sounds like marketing and business speak to be like, that's the first thing you need to do. It seems like it has nothing to do with technology, and it doesn't. But it also has everything to do with it, because unless you can decide on a clear niche and a clear ideal client, you're really going to struggle with automating your law firm. Now, key point here, when I talk about deciding on an ideal client for your law firm, it doesn't mean that you stop serving all your other clients. It means that for the next year or so, you're going to focus on marketing to and delivering automated legal services for a particular type of client. Okay, you can continue to serve all your other clients how you do now. That's absolutely fine. But for the next, say, 12 months, you're really going to focus on this type of client and getting more of those types of clients and delivering them legal services in an automated and efficient way. Then, if you do have a more general practice and you do want to serve other types of clients as well, then you can take the learnings from automating a service for a particular ideal client, and then you can start doing it for another ideal client, okay? But you can't create automated legal services for a whole bunch of different clients at the same time, right? Because if you think about your energy, if you put all your energy into one thing, you're going to progress that one thing so much faster than if you put your energy into sort of 5 different things or 5 different ideal clients and automating 5 different legal services for 5 different types of clients. So it's about focus, it's about learning about one type of ideal client and getting an automated legal service going for them. And then once you've achieved that, you can apply all that amazing learning and then start to automate legal services for other types of clients as well. But to start with, you just need to focus on one, and the results are there. If you'd like to talk to me about my other customers, of which I have many who have niched and have focused on one type of ideal client and are doing a great job at automating their law firm, they're spending less time serving their clients, they're making more money. If you'd like some more examples, I would be more than happy to share them with you to give you confidence to actually spend the time laying the foundations that you need to in order to successfully scale and automate your law firm. So I'm more than happy. I've got lots and lots of examples, lots of case studies, and I'm more than happy to share those with you to give you the confidence you need to pick an ideal client before you start automating your law firm. All right, peeps, that was a bit of a rant, but it's just so important, and I just can't stress it enough. Ideal client is everything. There can only be one ideal client to start with when you are starting to automate your law firm. Cool. All right, peeps, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Me again. I just signed off, but I just thought of another really important point to share with you on this very topic. So I've jumped in for some more. When you focus on your ideal client for growing your law firm and automating your law firm in the beginning, you have what's called the halo effect, okay? And that's where other people who don't meet your ideal client profile, they see what you're doing for your ideal client and they think it's amazing. They're like, this lawyer is so clever. They've created this amazing automated solution, automated legal service for this particular client, and it looks amazing. And I don't really fit that ideal client, but I want it anyway. And that's what the halo effect is when people from outside your ideal client profile see what you're doing and want a piece of it anyway. So that's called the halo effect. And again, I used Emma Houston, the remote expert, before as an example. So Emma's now seeing this because her focus is female entrepreneurs who own online service businesses. So Emma's seeing this and she's now getting a lot of men coming to her and wanting to work with her in her online legal solutions. So there you go. Even if you are just focusing on one type of client, it doesn't mean that that's all that's out there for you. Other people will see what you're doing and get excited about it and want to speak to you. Okay, I'm really going this time. All right, bye.